Hey yo, what is going on with the viewers of the tube? If you don't know where you're at in this thing called the tube reverse, let me first introduce myself as Tyler, and you just entered the crypto channel that loves when pigs aren't chasing perps, but themselves in their real form.
Squeeze him. Get him, get him. No, it could bite, but where's the garbage can? I'll distract him. Oh, you shit. He's tired.
Oh, it's a standoff. It's a standoff. It's a standoff. Get him in there. Get him, Mike. Yeah.
You know how we pork chop. It's time for Chico Crypto. Well, I'm sure you can see there are two sides forming globally in the world views of how we should proceed with this reopening of economies. On one side, we have those who think this panic was overblown. It's time to move on and get the wheels turning on the consumerism economic machine. On the other side, we have people who think caution should be taken and the reopening of the economies should be halted until we are 100% sure it's safe and ready. Well, I'm American and the divide is getting strong, as 4 states have decided to reopen their economies starting this week, after the Trumpster released the guidelines of how states can start to reopen in phases, provided testing shows that new cases of COVID-19 are down. First, Georgian Governor Brian Kemp announced that Friday, gyms, nail salons, and other like businesses can open on Friday, and then larger gathering places like theaters can open next Monday. That was followed by South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster tweeting this: "I've restored public beach access, allowing locals to use their discretion. I've also allowed some retailers that were previously closed to open, but they must follow strict social distancing guidelines. Please stay safe and follow all recommendations from public health experts." Then Tennessee Governor Bill Lee said he would not be extending the state's stay-at-home order, which expires April 30th, and that some businesses will be allowed to open as early as next Monday. And finally, there was Texas, where last week Governor Greg Abbott announced a strike force team to reopen their economy with a more strategic plan than the previous 3. So 4 states will soon basically be returning to an economic norm, although the social distance guidelines will still be in place, like staying 6 feet away. But by the leader of the states relaxing guidelines, it will cause a relaxing of that distance, slowly but surely. Shoot, I have even seen it here in California, where all the guidelines are still in place. So if this has been overblown, these states are going to look like the smart ones, who just moved on, reopened, and got on with their lives. Or they will become the next hotspots, as Georgia might be going too early. They have the 14th highest infection rate out of all states and the 7th lowest number of tests. Then you pull out a map of the US and 3 of the 4 states to reopen are right next to each other. But to understand if we should reopen, we should look at other countries who have already went through this and have reopened, like China. Now, people need to realize getting correct information about what is going on in China is next to impossible unless you are there experiencing it. Lockdowns on their internet and the VPN services took place during the virus, thus shutting out the voice of their people. Although this is 100% known true about China, 40% of Chinese jobs take place in the industry sector of manufacturing, mining, and facilities. And how they operate is completely different to how the US economy operates. These factory industries were used to authoritarian control before the outbreak. I've shown this before with the Binance Charity Exposed video. Their authoritarian factory measures and conditions have been transferred from their home states to Africa, where they have factories pumping out goods to now under the leadership of Helen Hyde. And those were the Chinese conditions before the panic. And since they have returned to work, they have been implementing strict social distance measures, like during lunchtime. And it was an easy thing to do at home, where they're used to being under the watchful eye of their employer and their government. Do you think Americans will be okay with a lunch like this? This is the new norm, aka the new normal. No, it's not gonna happen. When factories and places in Georgia reopen, maybe in the first couple of weeks, people will keep their distance. But as time goes on, it will slowly close and close. It's the American way. So last month, all of a sudden, everyone was gung-ho on closing the economy and the entire nation. And this month, we have the corporations, states, and even a president ready to get the wheels of the economy moving again. Well, you guys know what happened with oil on Monday. Negative numbers were trading on futures. Literally, someone was paying someone else to take the oil that would have been delivered to them. Here, take my money and take my oil. That is what went down for some time yesterday. Wonky baloney craziness? Well, right there, the fact that black gold was a liability for a large majority of people shows that economies need to be open, and they need open now, or we're going to face a crash like never before. Oil price is a measure of corporate consumerism, and the sinking price is signaling that corporate consumerism is going to drop off a cliff. That is why it's the corporations who rely on you consuming from them are putting out these commercials, which is exactly the same from each and every one. You get sad, somber music, then
Together.
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 Together. Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
we are together. We are one.
Buick and GMC are here to help.
Con Edison is here to help.
Here to help.
Our teams are here.
We are here.
We're here. We're here.
Here for you.
Here for you.
We're here for you.
We're here for you.
We are here for you.
We're here for you.
We are here for you.
We'll be here for you.
Runnings is here for you.
We're still here for you.
And finally, we are here to help, and we are here for you. I'm sure you've seen these pity corporation commercials across the airwaves. They are desperate, they are pulling at your heartstrings. And you know your boy Chico, I say mother freak them. These corporations, a majority of them are nasty, and many of them got stimulus bailout money. And what are they gonna do? Lay off Americans, give executive bonuses, and restructure more power towards the top, morphing into zombies.
We're still here for you.
Unfortunately, that is what is happening right now as we speak, my friends. And I can't tell you if all this was fake, part of the plan for control, or if it was real and something the world should be afraid of. I mean, last month, one of the main alternative theories was this could have been a deadly biological weapon out of a lab.
The only moral thing to do is release a deadly virus into the general public.
Now the alternative theory is it's fake. But the fact of the matter is it pushed the pin of popping the everything bubble, which if you follow the asset ladder of control, you have something special going on. Everyone knows the US dollar is the top of the pyramid of asset control. It's the currency of the US, and it gets its power from oil, another asset, which falls just below the US dollar. Crude oil gets its price and power from the next asset below this, the stock market, which is made up of shares of corporations who rely on consumerism, which is powered by oil. And finally, right below this, you have another asset, real estate, of which owners of corporations buy up to increase their wealth. So that is the pyramid of control. Now look at the bubbles, my friends. Actual money is one of the smallest bubbles. Shoot, there is only 1.67 trillion actual physical USD circulating in January of 2019, only 1.7% of all money in circulation. But the top of the pyramid of control is one of the smallest bubbles. The stock market has grown now to parity with the recent surge. Global debt was 184 trillion, real estate was 217 trillion, and derivatives was 532 trillion. And with the crash of oil, we are witnessing something special, my friends, the end of the petrodollar and the end of that pyramid of control, which will ripple into other asset classes. And this will signify the end of an era of US dominance. But who will step up to replace the USD? That's a very big question, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, DeFi have a very big answer. Cheers, I'll see you next time.